Hello, YouTube. As you probably know, let me just aim up a little bit. As you probably know by my channel by now, I like Wii games and Tamagotchi Life, Living the Dream video did pretty well. So I would like to make a video about Miitopia, a Miitopia sequel, and just some things I would like. This is like the other video, I'll link it in the description. If you haven't seen it already, just some of my unorganized bullet point thoughts for what I would like in a Miitopia sequel. And yeah. Here's a minor thing. Well, it might seem minor to you, but getting the Mii's getting sick. And what I particularly mean by this is in the before you beat the right before the final boss, Mii's can start to get sick, and when that happens, you cannot use them in your party. Which, how I typically play Miitopia, and you might play it differently, is I usually like to have myself and the other Mii's, whoever it might be Barack Obama, Louis, and I don't know, Duster from Other 3, or it might be one of my best friends IRL, Botcha from Pikmin 269, and Leonard from the Angry Birds with me. Whoever it is, when one of those goes down, it's like, oh, it's a pain. Because I typically try to do 4 party members, try to focus on just 4 party members. Because I don't like having another party member just to have as a backup, which is what I started to do in all of my recent playthroughs. So please get rid of sickness, Nintendo, or at least make medicine for it. So let's say, I don't know, your Mii goes down, which is even a bigger problem because you cannot control any of the other party members. If your Mii goes down, or like the main character, or whatever it is, if the hero goes down, it's like, well, it looks like everyone's on autopilot, and that's not particularly that fun. So just rather get rid of it or add medicine. Got some more points to talk about. Next, I would probably like there to be better gameplay before the RPG, because I know there's some people, primarily my sister, who wanted to get into Miitopia, but she absolutely hated that for like 50% of the game, like around 50% of the game is your Mii's just walking down a path. And why that might be funny to some people, I completely understand why some other people would get turned off by that and would not particularly enjoy that style of gameplay. So I would, if I had to, this is just, if I could create Miitopia 2, I would personally like it there to be maybe an open world? Or I don't know, maybe do something like, this is just speculation, I'm not saying Nintendo should do this at all, but like, maybe do something similar to like Persona 3 and 4 do, where there's like a dungeon, you go into the dungeon, and your party members, and you're controlling, you're running around, there's enemies, instead of, oh, you're just walking down a path uncontrollably, and there's the enemy, jumps out at you, or there's this event that's predetermined to happen regardless on what save file it is. Next up, and these points aren't like going to in any significant order, it's just me talking about it. Next up, I would really like it if Miitopia 2 also has pretty good post-game content. Miitopia 1 has really fantastic post-game content. In my opinion, it's probably one of the better post-games out of, maybe, I wouldn't say any Nintendo game because Pikmin 2 and 4 exist, but it is a pretty solid post-game with 2 new areas being unlocked and the Traveler's Hub constantly having new daily missions. I would like it if after you beat the final boss, there's still more things to do, because I personally don't like RPGs Where, oh look, you beat the final boss, well you get back to the save point before you beat the final boss. And even some of my favorite RPGs, like Mother 3 for example, not trying to bash on the game or anything, but it has that. I think Earthbound does too. That's a little unrelated, but just some things. I would just like that to be fixed. Alright. Also, make there be, similar to what Miitopia on the Switch did, make there be a way to easily share Mii's. Like, just do exactly what Miitopia 1 port did, where here's an access code, you can private Mii's of yourself or your buddies or your family or whoever, and you want the funny Fiddlebert Mii? Here it is. You want, I don't know, you want the Danny DeVito Mii with the really cool Miitopia makeup system? There you go. Similar to the Miitopia makeup system, one, actually I have a couple things to say about that. It's a really fantastic system, but there are a couple of things, not so much for the makeup, but for the wigs. As I said in my Tomodachi Life video, and again, I'm not trying to bash on anyone here, I would personally like it if they added some more, just some more standard male hairstyles. Because there's only like 3 or 4 that are for like, again, up to the best people with long, guys with long hair, perfectly fine, not trying to say anything wrong with that. But for someone who is male and who has short hair, I would like there to be more styles for that. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I would just like that. Because the vast majority of them are, here's a me with like 3 ponytails or whatever. Yeah, so kind of add that as well. Oh, another thing I would also like is the HP banana and the MP candies to be completely reworked. Because I find you rather have boatloads of them or you have like none of them. And MP candies I find are rather super duper vital, or they're just there. Another point, I would like there to be an option for controllable party members. I wouldn't say this is necessarily required, because Miitopia 1 is still a fantastic RPG without controllable party members. But I know I'm using Persona as an example, but it actually kind of works here. So in Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden, your party members automatically, besides the main character, automatically auto-attack and do whatever. But you can turn it on in the settings that, I don't know, I'm using Persona 4 as an example. Yosuke, or Yosuke, jeez, I'm pronouncing his name wrong. Yosuke heals, Chie fights, and Yukiko assists, or whatever. Just an example from Persona 4. If Miitopia does, this Mii does this Mii does that, maybe? Or controllable party members, because there is a mod for it, and I am interested in checking out that mod, where it adds controllable party members. Because it is a complete game changer. It really honestly would make the gameplay feel more fresh. Another thing I would really like for the Miitopia sequel, whatever, I would also like them to keep the same as the humor, because Miitopia has a really off-the-wall, similar to it is different from Tomodachi Life. It's not exactly a one-for-one, a beat-for-beat style of their humor, but I would honestly really like it if Miitopia 2 has the same sense of humor and doesn't go in a completely different direction. Also, for the story, again, I'm not going to, Miitopia isn't like, I don't know, it isn't like a Titanic, or it isn't like Oppenheimer in terms of its plot or anything, but I would like there to be more interactions between the Miis, because there are some. However, it's usually like one of 10 similar things, and I would like it if they just added more variety. Also, rework the friendship system a little bit. I'm not trying to say to completely get rid of it because it is very unique for an RPG. Well, for Miitopia, where a Mii could be rather complete or utter trash or be like the best thing in the world if depending on their friendship level with other Miis. I find that in the Switch version particularly, it was very easy to level Mii's up really quickly, particularly with the outing tickets. So maybe remove that, or maybe don't. And I also find for the game tickets as well, I would, if they do Miitopia 2, this is more so nitpicks than like wishes, is for Miitopia 2 to balance out the game tickets and the outing tickets. Because of the Switch version of Miitopia, a vast majority of the tickets you get from chests and from completing quests are outing tickets. In fact, I actually recently replayed the 3DS version of Miitopia, and it kind of fixed the issue. Another thing I would also like, more jobs as well. I can't think, like, I don't know, maybe have like an astronaut for an example. I mean, this is coming from someone named Pikmin Fan 64, so of course I'm going to say something about like Pikmin. And also, I find it weird how only one out of of all the jobs has like masculine and feminine styles. So maybe do more with that. Like I can't think of anything on top of my head right now, but maybe do. I don't know. Hold on. I don't know, but just do something like that because more variety is always good, and also more cosmetics would be nice as well. Like what Miitopia on the Switch did, where you can change the outfit without changing the stats, which is really good. So something more like that. And I also, one of my more final points is I would like Miitopia 2 to be, I'm not asking for like a Persona RPG, but I'm asking for something that's a little more complex because Miitopia is a very simple RPG. It's kind of like baby's first RPG. It really is. It's like not difficult and not challenging at all. Add multiple save files, please. As I said in the Tamagotchi Life video, I'm going to restate it here. I want to replay Miitopia multiple times with different party members and different stuff and blah, 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 blah. I would really like it if what Nintendo would do is you could have 3 save files. Again, I'm going to use Pikmin 3 on the Wii U as my example again. It works really well. For those who don't know, Pikmin 3 on the Wii U only had 1 save file per Nintendo account. Make it be 3, please. And then, oh, they fixed it in Pikmin 3 Deluxe. I would really like it if Miitopia 2 had 3 save files, so I don't have to rather have a modded Switch or having to delete my old save file. And final point, make this game be as good as the first one. Don't make it be like garbage or anything. I don't think it would be garbage because Nintendo has lots of really good developers. Yeah. So those are some of my thoughts for a Miitopia sequel. Again, I'm doing similar to what I did at the Tamagotchi video. I'm just rambling on about some points. The first Tamagotchi video did really well for the channel. I really appreciate all the support on that video. So yeah, that's more or less it. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, you know, all the YouTuber jargon. Have a great rest of your day, and see you guys next time. Peace.